Mathieu had a wonderful crucible. He's been building brands. Marc, could you join me for a moment? He's from Samsung, a $250 billion company that had faced a real transition for its brand and the relationship with its customers. We met at TED. Actually,
you need to explain how we met.
Yes, we were both stormtroopers in the virtual reality experience.
Empire,
yes, right. And you're running into the spacecraft, and you realize they have this digital skin that you're wearing, and you're seeing the monsters around, and you're getting shot at by stormtroopers.
And then you told me, I'm shooting a movie. Why don't you join? And I said, oh, it's going to be a Star Wars movie.
Yes, you're right. Well. You've had to shoot a lot of movies because you've been a brand guy at Coke. You've been a brand guy all over the place. Could you talk about a little about the working on brands as they've evolved today and came to Samsung just as it was having a very major event?
So I was there when indeed we got what I like to call a free advertising campaign on all the airlines.
Yes.
That suddenly
you were called out by name. Not many brands could do that, right?
I mean, it was, it's what you wish for. And then it
As a brand
happens
man,
and you said, no, that's not what I meant. And so we actually had an interesting story, which, to be honest, I mean, when it happens, that's when you realize how the relationships that you have with people matter and who are your real friends. And there is one ad which I will always remember from Nike when they had those child labor problems, and they had a beautiful ad that says, guess who's going to tell you the truth about Nike? And it's not this guy. And there was a guy holding a sign saying Nike sucks. And so what we had to do is really understand that there were some people who, of course, were going to say all the bad things. But there were also some people for whom the note was really important, was essential. I mean, and they're the ones who guided us. From the very beginning, we actually formed a group of loyalists, of hand raisers, who we said, we know that, something happened and it's not good, but we don't know everything. But as we find out, would you like us to keep you posted? Would you like us to come back and let you know what we find out and when we're going to come back with new products? And we had these thousands of people raise their hands, and we kept, bringing them into, our secret. As we found out, we created a global root cause event, and we brought them into an event like that, and they could ask all the questions to leadership. And we brought them when we did the Note 8 launch, and even a few weeks ago to the Note 9 launch. We brought them to New York, and we invited them, to be on stage. We even showed them the phone, which we never do, in privacy before the launch, and we filmed their reaction, and we showed it on the big screen during Unpacked. And that relationship that we built with those people who really, for whom the note mattered, who were really loyal users, was really for us not only instrumental in saying, yeah, don't kill the Note brand, continue to do what you're doing, you need to come back. I mean, for them, they were really, asking us, begging us to come back. But they were also the reason why we got to work for all those months where we were kind of 24/7.
I was surprised to hear you talk about how when you go through a crisis, many organizations will just hunker down, and leaders will decide that they don't want to really to engage with the world, and they're assuming that the world is against them. There ends up being this bunker mentality. And instead you realize that there were a whole community of people who cared about this and were feeling this pressure along with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as in, private life. I've had, quite a few roles. I spent, out of many roles, I spent 12 years at Coca-Cola. And when I left Coke, the last year was, I ended up going and doing my own startup. And at that time, I thought I had lots of friends. And I lost quite a few. Because when you start a startup from scratch, and you'd been a global head of brands for Coca-Cola, you have lots of people who disappear. And brands are the same, but the ones who mattered are the ones that stayed behind, or the ones that I met then, who are still friends today. And so I think I often think, and I learned that, the hard way. I have had several marketing crises in my career. I had one when I was at Coca-Cola, where we had a total recall for 4 weeks when I was in Belgium of all the Coca-Cola products, and I found out that there was no marketing book when you've lost the trust with consumers, with customers, with employees. So you need to, act almost as a human being and think, how do I, rebuild the relationship? Who do I trust? Who do I not trust? And I think that, reacting, recognizing that there are people who are not going to help you when you have these problems, but you have people who really care. And those are the ones that you need to rally behind and support and trust.
Well, it's a lesson for all of us in this community that we're convening here tonight, and the community that continues from here. I want you to know that we all should feel that we can count on each other to be friends when we don't have the startup, or we do. That when we have the highs and the lows, that's what's really been defining Marshall Goldsmith and this community that we have. That we're going to be together. We're going to be here for each other. So thank you. This is where I wanted to go with this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Marc.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.